Hey, internet friends, welcome to the Magic Brad Show. This is your friend and host from Minneapolis, Minnesota. My name is Brad. I go by Magic Brad to separate myself from the Bryans and the Brents and the Brandons, which is our guest today. And he's from southwestern United States. I think it's down in Arizona, but I'm going to go get him. He's in the green room enjoying some of our digital hors d'oeuvres. So if you want to stand by, I'll go get Brandon and or Brady, not Brandon. He'll correct me on that. Be right back. There he is, Brady. How you doing?
All right. How are you?
Wonderful and a half. Sorry, I got your name wrong there.
That's all good.
Do you get people confused with Brady? Do they call you Brad sometimes or Brian?
Yeah, I was actually on the news and they got my name wrong, but it was spelled correctly on the header, but they said it wrong, so it's all good.
I get that. People call me Brian sometimes. That's why I created the Magic Brad, so I'd have the domain. So there you go. Yeah. So you're doing magic is it full time now?
Yeah, at the moment it's full time.
Perfect. Got to keep the ball rolling. And you're down in, I think you said Arizona, right?
Yep, Arizona.
Is it near Phoenix?
It's a good 30 minutes, yeah.
Okay.
Depending on traffic.
Yes. You got some of that down there, that traffic?
Oh, yeah.
That, speaking of that, when gigging, sometimes you have to accommodate for that kind of thing. And yes. Sometimes I will show up like an hour early because the event planner, it's like a sigh of relief because they got so much on their plate. They wonder, where's the magician? Where's the magician? Is he going to be here? Is he going to be here? And they get all nervous. So if you show up in early and that creates a reputation, they can trust you. That's kind of helpful.
Yeah, so far I've never been late. So,
I'll tell you a quick little story and then we'll get into talking about you. But I've never missed a show.
Me neither.
All the years. I've been doing this since I started when I was like 4. But there was a situation up in Minnesota. We have tornadoes, and there was me and a friend that were doing a gig at the Marriott Hotel where they had motor coaches. 2 motor coaches went out to Lake Minnetonka, which is a big lake west of us. And then we were to get on boats and do magic on the boats. So we did magic at the event, then on the buses out, and then the boats. Well, there was a tornado that happened here, a tornado warning. So everybody got all frenzied out and crazy, and then the skies cleared, and they go, okay, let's get on the buses. So they're going out there, and I missed my bus.
Oh.
So this was back pre-cell phones or anything like that, so I didn't know. I have no way to contact anybody. My friend Dave had the keys to the car, so I couldn't really drive out there. I was stuck. And I didn't know what the heck to do. We get out there. My friend Dave went out, did his boat, and then he told the ship's captain that he made up a story, and the ship's captain brought him back to the dock, and he got on my boat and introduced himself as me.
Okay.
So he did both the gigs, and so technically I've not missed a show.
Yeah, I guess that would make sense.
Kinda. So within your family, you got kids, right? You got, I think 3, I read.
Yeah, I got a 3-year-old, 8-year-old, and almost a 5-year-old.
Okay, are they going to be in the show?
No, I've had them come to a couple shows, but they kind of get bored because they've already know what I do, and and I don't want them to be like, oh, that's my daddy up there, and then because then they'll want to be volunteers all the time, and it's not fair to the other kids.
Well, maybe you get them in; they can be your assistants when they get a little. Yeah. Who knows where that might go? I don't have any kids, so we had to rent them. So, what kind of stuff do you do as far as your performance? You also twist balloons. I saw that.
Yeah, I do balloon twisting. That kind of came out of nowhere because up in Washington, I did a lot of parties for like Indian families from India, and my price for magic was too much for them. So, and they'd always ask me if I knew a guy to twist the balloons, and I was like, no. But after like 3 or 4 times, like, I'm just gonna learn that, and then I'll just charge you the same, but I'll give you both, and then that's kind of how that took place. So
Good idea. I always like that. Some people think that they can get the business by lowering their price, but
yeah,
what you did is you added value.
yeah,
And I think that's a better way to go because, you got bills to pay and they're not going to lower their prices.
yeah.
It's about how many gigs you do a year.
It depends. Up in Washington, I had 2019 was my best year, and then COVID, and then since then. But yeah, I had like I think 11 gigs in December, and then I had 2 in November, 6 in October, and then it was kind of slow before then, and then summertime. But yeah, it's hard to say. I'm not one of those. Oh, I do 316 gigs a year. I'm trying to do less and make more,
Right.
because I have a family.
So during the pandemic thing, did you get into doing the virtual shows?
I did a couple of them. If you went to like my Facebook page, you'll see a couple posts of it, but I didn't get as many huge companies. I had to like sell tickets on the whatever that platform was, and then
Okay.
I had like 10, 12 people per show. It wasn't anything crazy.
Oh, I know some people, the performers, they were actually getting the same price that corporations were asking for paying live.
Oh, wow.
I think the corporation would set it up in a room with a projection screen, so it's like watching a big movie.
Oh, okay.
So it's a little higher produced kind of thing.
Yeah, I didn't make it that far into that. So
I thought about it, but I got this thing about in-person stuff. It's just hard to connect on the internet like this. Like right now, I'd rather be in your living room talking with you than
I'm the same when I do the TikTok videos and stuff. It's like hard for me to just perform for the camera because I need to feed off. Like I need them to hold the card because that's where the magic happens. And
it is quite the shift.
Yeah.
So I think earlier you said that you're considering trying to branch out beyond the West Coast and kind of, are you looking to go national, maybe international?
I would like to do both, but baby steps. I like to do national. So I mentioned earlier, I've done this half of the country. Like if you were to split from Texas to California, like all these states I've done, even Hawaii I've been in, but not anywhere from Texas that way. So,
okay, everything west of the Mississippi.
Yeah.
Well, we've got the Mississippi River starts here in Minnesota. Maybe you want to come up here.
Yeah.
Maybe February.
It's all about connections and knowing people. So
it is actually. There's a lot. Minnesota is a lot of corporate type stuff here, and people here like magic. There's a lot of theaters here.
Okay.
They say like per capita, there's more here than there is in New York City.
Wow. And there's some good magicians over in New York City.
There's some good magicians here, but it's hard to find them because they end up going out to Las Vegas.
Oh yeah, it's kind of strange. When I was up in Washington, like we had a lot of a surplus, and then same down here. Like you go to Google and they're like, "There's 500 people here that are doing magic." It's like,
there is a lot, but then there's are they good magicians or are they good entertainers? Because in my opinion, a planner wants you to entertain their audience, not trick them.
Yeah, they might just be good at sales.
There's definitely that too. We've had some of those come through where they just seem to close everything.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things I think is important. I had like an event planner's checklist. I would make a thing like that I would send out because there's things that an event planner might not know that a performer needs. Like I don't want to work in an L-shaped room.
Yeah.
And the sight line screwed up.
Yeah. Because you're just going to run into people multiple times. So.
Yeah, and then I want to make sure that there's enough lighting and there's a good sound system because if they can't hear you and see you, it's not going to be a good show. So making sure that all that stuff is in place, and if it's a savvy event planner, they understand that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So are you doing more like people that are event planners might not know the terminology, but the performers do, is the close-up versus the strolling versus the platform versus the stage?
I usually get hired for cocktail hours, which is close-up strolling.
Mhm.
I have a gig like coming up in June, which is for 8 people, which is it's close-up, but it's kind of parlor because I'm not going to just
Right.
So, and I also have a stage act. It's not an illusion act, but it's on stage, and I've done it for up to 400 people, and it's worked fine. So,
Yeah, those big illusions, you got to have a truck to carry them. It's too much.
yeah.
We used to do the zigzag and had a couple girl assistants and 10 doves and 2 rabbits. And then we decided as we got older, that's too much like work. So we decided to do close up.
Yeah.
It's easier to carry around a deck of cards.
Yeah. Pack small, play big. So.
That's a big part of it. Absolutely. So when you're doing the walk around stuff, like you'd mentioned not the walk around, but the close up,
Uh-huh.
mentioned the parlor thing. That's one of my favorite things to do is like a house party or
Yeah.
even the small corporate, like a upper management kind of thing where it's more intimate, small
Yeah.
group of 15, 20. That's kind of my favorite thing to do.
Yeah, they're fun to do. The only problem is that I have with smaller audiences is there's less volunteers.
Okay.
So you have to really get one person up there and have a good time with them, and then if people go, "Oh, that wasn't bad," like, yeah, I'll do it, and then it opens up. But if you have a big crowd, you can be, "Hey, come up here," and then they'll come up here because they don't know, And it's But doing the close up, like doing the cocktail hour before the show, it allows you to feel out who's going to be the person that you want up and who's going to be the person that's going to give you trouble and who's who has the watch, who has this, who you can see all that stuff that you need. And
So when you're doing the walk around stuff, do you ever have challenges breaking into a group? Like there's a group of 3 people that are talking and then breaking the ice to come in, or are you
no, I kind of just awkwardly stand there until they notice me, and I'm like, I'm just here to make you feel uncomfortable. And they start laughing, and then and I'm actually here to do magic because I'm the magician. And then, oh yeah, and then they're excited. So
to me, that's been a challenge for me all the time. I used to have little gimmicks to try and fit in there, and sometimes I'd have the planner actually let them know that there's a magician walking around, and
okay,
I'm dressed a little bit different than it's not a typical tie kind of situation.
yeah. I was always told to dress up from whatever the event is.
Yeah.
So so if it's business casual, then you're business, and then so on. But yeah, I've gotten to the point in my head, if I'm making a certain amount of money, then I'm gonna wear a suit. That's just it. Like I'm not gonna it baffles my mind a little bit. Seeing people like posting, oh, I just did this corporate event, and they're in their jeans and their V-cut T-shirt, and it's like, all right, I mean that's your character, but it is what it is. So
I think maybe I'm in agreement with that. I mean, there are some of these guys with the ripped jeans and T-shirts and their hat on sideways and backwards and all that kind of stuff, but I think you should look more like an entertainer or a magician.
yeah, it just makes me feel more successful being in a suit. That's all. It's like one of those wealth triggers type of
Things
thing.
have changed over the years with things. I mean, the people are more business casual in situations.
Yeah,
But you're right, just to step up. At least so you look like maybe you're part of the wait staff or something. So you look a little bit different than your average person. Do you care? Do you come with are your shows like self-contained? Do you bring your own sound system and lights and things?
Well, I don't have any lights. Usually I always ask if they have a stage. There's been so many times where like, you have a stage? Like, yeah. And then you're on the dance floor. Because like that, no, that's not a stage. Like, oh, we thought it was. Like, no, that's a dance floor. And then you have 100 people and people can't see you. So
Right.
I always make sure, like, do you have a stage? I need to be above the audience, and then they usually would get one of some kind, even if it's 1.5 feet. It's that way people can see me. So.
Well, I think it's always important to have communication with the event planner because event planners got a lot on their plate with getting the venue and figuring out the menus and name badges and lanyards and arrival. They got a lot going on. and you're just a small segment of it, but it's still very important. If okay, after dinner we're going to have this wonderful magic show and illusion show, and then they can't see you, like you said, you're on the dance floor. And sometimes when you're doing if they have the dance floor in front of the stage, there's that gap between where the tables are, and that isn't real helpful either.
Yeah.
I kind of have them bring the tables closer to the stage.
I've had that before. I did one corporate event where it was families, and there was that space, and for some reason they thought, okay, kids, go fill that space. And like, this is not just a kids show. Like, I need to be able to get to you guys as well. So if you could stay in your seats, that would be, yeah. It had to be.
I've always had a challenge with that too, where when someone says you go and you do magic and you blow them away with an amazing effect, and they go, oh my God, Johnny would love this.
Yeah, they're like, he'd be perfect for our birthday party coming up. Like, well, like I do birthday parties, but I'm more towards the corporate side.
You think that because of the popularity with America's Got Talent and there's shows like Fool Us and things, that they're starting to see a higher caliber performer? It might have helped a little bit.
Yeah, at least for them to. It seems like it used to be all singers, and then it used to be anything that wasn't a singer would win the competition, and then it just became magic and mentalists and magic, and so now everyone's like, ooh, magic. But as long as they're still winning, then people are going to want us, so that's good.
Yeah, it's helped. So this isn't so much about this question is a little bit about the lay person audience, but what do you think of the revelation and exposure of magic secrets on the internet?
I have commented on a few people doing that, and I'm just like, why are you doing that? Like, because I want to ask them, like, are you a working magician, or you tried it and it didn't work for you, and now you're just like, I'm going to give it away? But I'd rather people didn't do that, because a lot of us are still doing what you're giving away, and we don't. That's the last thing we want, is people in every audience be like, oh, I saw that on the internet. Like, oh.
Yeah. See, I take it from a little different approach, in that I think you should teach in private and perform in public. So that's just the bottom line for it. Because some people say, well, Penn and Teller did it, and that doesn't justify that it's right.
Yeah.
But I look at it from the spectator's point of view. If you expose the secret, you just ruined the entire experience for the audience. But the reason people are doing it is to get views, and they're making money. And part of it is just an ego boost.
Yeah.
Just doing it to get the exposure and stuff, and then they fight back with it. But to me, when you expose that stuff, it's kind of like buying a gift for your spouse and not wrapping it. It's tacky.
Yeah, like, here you go. Like, what is this? It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Or like if an MC did a comedian's bit before he invites the comic on stage.
Yeah, that would be a slap in the face.
It's just very tacky.
Yeah.
So if any magicians listen to this, that's my take on it. I think you should quit exposing stuff.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't help anybody.
Yeah, because even though there's new stuff coming out, the classics work just fine, and especially the props that we use, don't give that away, because we use it in everyday stuff. So.
Well, it's like telling the punchline before you deliver the joke.
Yeah,
it just ruins the experience, and you don't see that in other arts with a concert pianist playing the piano. People don't come up and start banging on the keys to screw it up for them. But for some reason with magic, they tend to want to catch you. Yeah,
because I've noticed in our field, like if you meet an artist or a piano player or something, say, oh, what do you do? I'm an artist. Oh, that's cool. But when they say, oh, I'm a magician, show me something, you're on the spot automatically. So it's different. You're not like, sing me a song or tell me a joke. But it's for magicians, it's different. So.
Yeah, they expect you to have something I guess you kind of should have something ready to.
Yeah, because we're supposed to be magic. So
the real sleight of hand, where if you wear a finger ring, you can do something.
Yeah, finger ring, coin, pencil, anything small. Yeah.
Something, anything. So we've gone for about 20 minutes already, buddy. That was time flies when you're having fun, right?
Yeah.
So is there anything that you want to share with people? And I got this thing up here too. I want to pop this up. This is how you get a hold of you.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
overthetopmagic.co. It's not .com, it's
yeah.
.co. So I want to let people know about that.
Yeah, that has to do with the marketing companies that we had in the past. So we had to start over.
Well, all this internet stuff, I'm bamboozled by it. I got a love-hate relationship with all the internet stuff.
Yeah. So if you look me up on Google and you don't see any reviews, I used to have them. My old marketing company took them down out of spite. So I'm good. Trust me.
Or better yet, hire Brady and give him a review.
Yeah. Get me going again.
Well, Brady, I'm going to let you go into the green room. If you want to stick around, we can have a little more of a chat. But if you got to get going, I totally understand that. I appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah.
And, I will get this out. It's already on YouTube. And then what I do with this video is I chop it into little shorts.
Okay.
And I put them back up to YouTube. And what happens with the software is it puts in different titles for all the different topics that we had talked about, different content. And then I look at the shorts and find out which one got the traffic.
Okay.
And then I take that and put that in other places and blogs and things and try and keyword it so that it attracts attention, preferably in your area.
Okay.
But seeing you're working on the East Coast, we'll see if we can get something stirred up over there too.
Sounds good.
Okay, hang tight.
All right.
Peace. There you have it. That was our friend Brady Ramsey. And if you're looking to hire Brady Ramsey, once again, this is his website right there, overthetop.co. So overthetopmagic.co. Or I bet you could just Google the keyword Brady Ramsey magic. And you might find him that way too, because the internet does that kind of stuff. So this has been Magic Brad with the Magic Brad Show. I appreciate you taking the time. If you want to know more about me, just Google the keyword Magic Brad. Peace, love, and happiness. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be good.